Hello, this is the Social Media for Main Street USA webinar. I'm your presenter, Dennis J. Smith, and you can find me online at www.dennisjsmith.com. Before we get started today, I'd like to give you a little bit about my background. I live in Idaho near Boise. I'm a self-published author, and my book is an Amazon.com bestseller, Promote Your Business or Cause Using Social Media Beginner's Handbook. I'm also a talk show host, and you can find my show Social Media Talk with Dennis J. Smith on Blog Talk Radio Thursdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm a public speaker and webinar presenter. I do social media and WordPress training, and I am the winner of the Top 50 Authors Award in Idaho in the year 2011, and I've been on Facebook and Twitter since 2007. So we'll go ahead and get started today. And the first thing that I'd like to talk about is why social media. Well, the first reason why is because it can be less expensive than traditional marketing. Television and newspaper, of course, are traditional forms of media, and those, of course, can be expensive, and social media tends to be less expensive than those forms of traditional marketing. You can connect with your customers and you can build relationships with them on social media. By being on Facebook and Twitter, it allows those customers to connect with you. You can meet other business owners, so if you have a Chamber of Commerce fan page, most U.S. cities have a Chamber of Commerce, and you can connect to other members through Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media. There are business groups and fan pages on Facebook and Google Plus, and of course LinkedIn, and you can do searches on those different social media sites and find different business groups that would be related to the type of business that you're doing. Social media also allows you to run highly targeted ads. So because people who are joining social media tend to give out information such as age, location, that information gives those social media sites the ability to allow you to target your ads to a specific group of people. You can reach millions of people outside your local area. So if you live in an area such as where I do, the Treasure Valley has about 600,000 people right now. Idaho is just over 1.5 million, so we're a smaller state compared to other states in the United States. But with social media, it allows businesses to reach outside of their local area and have that ability to reach others. And the last reason that I have here is that because other people are doing it, you don't want to get left out. Your competitors are already on social media, and if you're not on social media, chances are that your customers are following your competitors on social media, and you don't want to miss that opportunity because it's critical with the way that the economy has changed that your business be reaching out to your customers in all different forms of marketing, and that includes social media. I'm going to move on and give you some information on social media by the numbers. Studies show that 80% of U.S. internet users spend time on blogs and sites like Facebook and Twitter. So quite a bit of people spending time on the internet and on social media sites. Facebook now has more than 1 billion active users worldwide, so that's quite a bit when you consider the world's population. And there are more than 50% that are logged on to Facebook at on any given day. And the last time that I checked and did a little bit of research, in the United States there's about just over 163 million users on Facebook, and about 488 million users worldwide use Facebook Mobile on a regular basis. Leveraging location-based applications and social media platforms can be a great way to engage and capture a mobile audience of business prospects. There are about 175 million tweets that are sent from Twitter each day, and that was as of last year in 2012. And Pinterest is now ranked number 3 for the top social media networking site. So you've got Facebook first, and then Twitter second, and Pinterest now is in 3rd place. And in the U.S., 141.8 million accounts represent 27.4% of all Twitter users. So that's getting close to almost 30% of all Twitter users are based here in the US. And down there at the bottom of this slide, you'll find out the sources for the information that I used on getting these numbers. So if you check out those sites like HubSpot.com and SocialBakers.com, there's some really great information on social media statistics. I'm going to go ahead and we'll move on to the next slide, and we're going to just look at a list of top social media sites. There's Facebook coming in at number 1. We've got Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, LinkedIn, and then I've got WordPress and YouTube listed there last. Even those aren't technically social media networking sites. Those are tools that I believe that are important for those who are using social media to connect those tools together to get the best use out of social media. And here's a little bit, this is a slide or a photo that I found on Social Media Explained, and it's just kind of a funny little slide for Twitter. You see there where it says I'm eating pound donut, and that's because Twitter is known for using hashtags, and a hashtag is a way to group like information using the pound sign. And the next one there says on Facebook, I like donuts, and that's because we are liking stuff on Facebook, like pages and things like that. And you can see the other ones down there: Foursquare, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Last.fm, and Google+. Some of those we aren't going to talk about today, but Foursquare and Instagram, of course, being popular. Foursquare's location-based application and website, and Instagram, of course, is taking the photos and giving them using a filter to give them a certain look and feel. Going to move on here to Facebook and talk a little bit about Facebook. Why Facebook? The first one is it's free and it doesn't cost you a dime to be on Facebook. Facebook allows you to connect with your customers, and you can create business or product pages. You can create as many of those pages as you would like. Now, you can only have one personal profile on Facebook, and you should not be technically using that personal profile for business. That should be just your personal profile, and then you would create a business or a product page that would be business or product related. Facebook also lets you, gives you the ability to let your customers leave reviews on those pages, and you can let your customers discuss your product, of course, and by allowing them to do that, would get good information to other potential customers or clients on why they should buy a particular product from you. Of course, we talked about that it allows you to build relationships with your customers. The other thing that you can do is that you can research your competition. So your competition is out there on social media and sites like Facebook, and you can go and check out their pages and see what they're doing, see how they're using social media to broadcast to their customers, and you can also check out their products and services and use that to give you an idea of how to base your business. And you can also sell your merchandise right from Facebook. There are a couple of applications there that I have listed that are e-commerce applications, and it gives you the ability to sell your product right from Facebook, so your fans can come to your fan page and you can customize your fan page to give them the ability to buy product without leaving Facebook. Now, you can also send them over to your website. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of major companies like Macy's and JCPenney's and Walmart are moving away from selling merchandise specifically right from Facebook, but I still think it's a good idea for a smaller business, or if you're a home-based business, to check this out, and it would give you the potential to start selling that product and using a format that's not so expensive. And then later on, as you grow, then you can branch out to selling your product on your website, or you can sell product both on your website and your Facebook fan page. Now, the other thing that you can do with Facebook is that you can highlight your employees, your best salesperson, favorite customer, or product. So Facebook gives you the ability to do that. And you can also share video and other promotional material with your customers. So video is popular. We're going to talk about YouTube in a little bit, but you can also upload videos right to Facebook. And you can announce new products or sales to your Facebook followers first. And the other thing that you can do is that if you have a job opening, your best customers could make a great employee. So you would want to announce job openings that you have for your business right on your Facebook page. And then the last thing there that I just wanted to note is that Facebook ads. We talked about that they're highly targeted, and you can target your audience. Over 1 billion users are on Facebook, and Facebook is an inexpensive way for you to do advertising. So you'll want to check out Facebook ads, and you can do that by going to facebook.com/ads, and that'll give you more information on advertising on Facebook. We're going to move on here, and we're going to look at a Facebook fan page. These are a couple of pages here. This is one from BMW, and the one on the right is a page that I did myself on my fan page, which is facebook.com. I learned WordPress, and this is a custom fan page that I did. So your fan page, when you start a fan page, it's free, and there are a couple of pages that it creates. One of them is photos, and then your wall, which is the ability to post stuff, and then your photos to post photos to your fan page. But you can also host pages off of Facebook that are custom pages, but Facebook gives you the ability to display those within your Facebook page using what's called static HTML, or an iframe that does that. And I have a webinar that explains more how to do that. And if you go to anymeeting.com/social media USA, there's information on my webinars that show you how to make these custom pages like the one on the right. I'm going to move on to Twitter and talk about why Twitter. Now, a lot of these kind of are the same as far as the reason why you should be on those platforms. They're a little different. Each platform is a little different. Twitter allows you to promote your business in 140 characters or less. So this is microblogging. You can't submit anything more than 140 characters, so you have to be resourceful in what you want to say in what Twitter calls a tweet. Same thing as Facebook, Twitter, you can follow your suppliers, and you can research your local and national competitors because they're going to be out there on Twitter already, so you can take a look at their tweets and see what they're doing. You can connect with others in your industry. So myself as an author or a social media specialist, I go out and I find other people who are authors, are social media specialists, or maybe somebody that's a WordPress expert, and connect with those individuals because I want to see what they're doing, what they're sharing, and Twitter allows you to do that. Now you can also promote your upcoming sales and any new product that you might have. So Twitter is a great way to do that. And you can promote those special offers to Twitter followers only. So again, with Facebook, if they're following you on Facebook, they might see specific special offers or sales that you're having, and same thing with Twitter. So you want to give people a reason to follow you on Facebook or Twitter, and by doing that, then you're offering them a special sale, maybe on Thursdays or something like that is a special offer for those who follow you on Twitter, and on Fridays would be a special offer for those who follow you on Facebook. And you can send out links on Twitter that are directly connected on where to purchase products. So you might send out a link for a product on your website to your Twitter followers, and when they click on that, it will automatically load your business's website and take them right to that product where they can purchase that product. And the last time I checked, there are about 500 million registered users on Twitter as of last year in 2012. I'm going to move on and talk about Pinterest, and I had talked about earlier that Pinterest is now the #3 social media platform. Pinterest has been around for a while, but it really didn't start taking off until about 2 years ago. Now it's the fastest growing social media networking site, and it's popular with females. It's popular with women who are between the ages of 25 and 35. So that's that demographic that a lot of advertisers are looking for. It allows you to create promotional campaigns where you can get other people to pin and share your product. So Pinterest is is like a corkboard. So maybe you had a corkboard in your room at one time or in your college dorm, and you would take a post-it note or you would take something in a thumbtack and you would pin it up onto that corkboard. Well, Pinterest, what it is pin boards, and you create pin boards specific to interests that you might have, and then you can pin and share that information with others in a visual format. It's very good at driving traffic to websites, and it's very visual. Again, it lets users pin items to boards that look a lot like a checkerboard of photos, and Pinterest is very simple to learn. You can find more about Pinterest by going to www.pinterest.com and signing up for a free account on Pinterest. Here's what Pinterest looks like. This is the Boise State Bookstore at Boise State University in Boise, and you can see how that they're using Pinterest. You can see the different pin boards there. We've got the first one, which is Game Day Bronco Style. The other one is Love for Idaho, and then you've got School Smarts, Dorm Living, Books and Literature. So they've kind of grouped things out, and so they're sharing things based upon those specific groups. I'm going to move on to Google Plus and why you should be using Google Plus. Well, it's been around for about 2 years now, but the biggest thing is that it's ran by the world's largest search engine, which is Google. The thing that I like most about Google Plus is that it allows you the ability to hang out with your customers or other individuals on a video chat. So this is not just a feature that's good for businesses, but maybe somebody who's an author out there. If you want to actually set up a conversation with those people who are your readers of your book, you can do that. You can invite them to a hangout, and they can all sit around and they can chat with the author or they can chat with the business. And so this is a great way for you to obtain information about the people who are either your fans or your customers. It's called Hangouts. They also have a feature called Hangouts Live, which allows you to broadcast your Hangout to people live using YouTube. So with Hangouts, you can have up to 10 people hanging out with you. With Hangouts Live, you can have that group of 10 people being broadcasted out live so other people can watch the conversation that you're having. They have business pages on Google Plus with a focus on local business. So Google, a lot of their focus is on being local, so that if you're in a specific area, that you're able to find businesses in your local area. And there's about 150 million active users on Google Plus, so it's not as large as Facebook, but it is growing, and I believe that this is the year that Google Plus is really going to start taking off. Some of the things to keep in mind with Google Plus is there's no ads to deal with. So like Facebook, where you do have ads or sponsored stories, you're not going to see that on Google Plus. And that the reason for that is because Google, with their search engine, they have all of those advertisements on their search engine. So that's paying for the social media site. Therefore, they don't have to have any ads on the Google Plus site. There's not as many users as Facebook and Twitter, so your friends, families, and your customers might not be on Google Plus yet. And I say yet because there's a possibility that you'll find them moving over to Google Plus within the next year or two. It just kind of depends on how Google Plus continues to grow and add new features. And of course, you have to learn how to use Google Plus and how it works, because it's different and it's got a different look and feel than Facebook does. This is what a Google Plus profile page looks like. This is my page here. They recently updated the look of the cover photos. I personally think that the cover photos are too big. It's taking up too much real estate on the profile. Even though it looks nice to have a photo, this is a photo that I took a couple of years ago when I was up in Sun Valley, Idaho, but then all of my information below kind of gets buried in there, as you can see. I'm going to move on and talk just a little bit about LinkedIn. I don't personally use LinkedIn as much as I use Facebook and Google Plus, but LinkedIn is great for business owners or for professionals. It allows you to connect with other business owners, and you can hire new employees from LinkedIn because there are other people out there who are using it who are basically posting their resume or their skill set on LinkedIn, so you can go through and you can search for employees if you're looking for somebody specifically for your business or a position that you might have open in your business. There are business groups on LinkedIn, just like Facebook has the groups and Google Plus has communities. With LinkedIn, there are groups out there that you can search for. So if you have a specific interest, or if you're self-employed and you're looking for information, or you're looking to talk with other people who are in the same industry, you can do a search on LinkedIn and find those individuals. You can also create a company page too on LinkedIn. So if you're a business out there and you want a presence on LinkedIn, you have the ability to do that. And just like Facebook, LinkedIn has ads, advertising, and you can promote your business. There's about 34 million users on LinkedIn. I believe it's a little more than that now. That number that I got that probably about I would say about 6 months ago, and I haven't updated it yet, but it's not growing as quickly as some of the other social media sites that are out there. We're going to move on and we're going to talk about WordPress. And like I was saying in the beginning, WordPress is not specifically a social media networking site. What it is that it is a blogging platform or content management system that allows you to create a website. I've been using it myself for several years now, and I recommend it to anybody who's doing business or starting in business because it's inexpensive, it's affordable. It's less than $20 a month, and that's because mainly you have the cost of hosting the website. So you go out there and you buy your own domain, and you own your own domain, and each year you pay to renew that domain. But each month, and you can set it up so that you're hosting that you pay it yearly or every 6 months, but there's some kind of cost involved with WordPress, but it's very affordable when you think about the cost, some of the other things that the cost of doing business. It's easier to set up and maintain than a standard website. So if you get a standard website, you typically have to hire a developer to do that, and the developer, there's some kind of cost associated with that. And anytime that you want to make a change to your website, to your home page, then you have to get a hold of that individual so that they can make the changes for you. Now, WordPress, you can still do that. You can still pay somebody to do all of that stuff for you. But if you don't, the cool thing about WordPress is all that you have to do is log in, and the back end of WordPress is called the dashboard. And when you go into the dashboard, you can go in and you can make all of the changes, and you can add things, what are called plugins, that give you more functionality and allow you to do things such as adding a calendar or give you the ability to sell things from your website. It optimizes really well with Google so that you get better search results. So when somebody is doing a search for your website or your business, that chances are that you're going to rank higher in Google. You might not necessarily rank on page 1 of Google, but with WordPress, it more likelihood that you're going to rank higher. It's a great way for you to promote your business products. And like I was saying, you can sell product right from your website without expensive software. You can do things like setting up a newsletter to maintain contact with your customers, and you can notify them when you have a new product for sale. Now, it doesn't have to be physical product that you're selling. You can sell virtual product too, like I do on my website. If people are interested in downloading ebooks or things like that, or listening to my talk show, they can do all of that stuff from my website. So you can sell physical and virtual product with a WordPress website. And of course, the big thing is the blog posts, and the blog posts there are what give you fresh information on your blog, and those can automatically get posted to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and any of those other social media network sites that are out there. So once you post it to your WordPress website, you don't have to go to all of those sites and repost it again. You can have it set so that you have a plugin control that. So once you hit publish on a new article, then within a matter of minutes, that new article is live on your Facebook page, on your Google Plus page. You've sent out a tweet. So that's one of the things that I like most about having a WordPress website. And there are millions of people who are using WordPress around the world. There are WordPress WordCamps where people who use WordPress meet up in different cities around the world, developers, bloggers, people who are into e-commerce, and talk about WordPress. So there's a lot of different resources, a lot of different blogs out there, a lot of good information on WordPress. So easy for the average person to learn. I also, if you go to ilearnwp.com, that's a website of mine, and I have different modules that lay out the basics of learning WordPress. And also, if you're interested in WordPress classes, I have the ability to teach WordPress classes using Google Plus Hangouts. So if you're interested in that, check that out at ilearnwp.com. This is my WordPress website, which is dennisjsmith.com. This is what it looked like, I would say about a year ago. The really cool thing about WordPress is that it uses what is called themes to give you the ability to create a different look and feel for your website. So this is the original look and feel of the website, and I was getting tired of this look and feel. I wanted to try something a little bit different to kind of increase the number of people coming to my website and to focus more in selling my products and services off of my website. So I went and added a different theme, and this is just an idea of what it looks like. If you go to dennisjsmith.com, you can have a better idea of what it looks like, because there's more that you're not seeing underneath there. That has the articles underneath, and then up above I have slides that scroll across the screen showing off different things that I offer, like my book, my talk show, the ability to have a consultation with me. And if you're interested in that, if you go under Contact Influence on the menu, you can sign up for a free 20-minute WordPress or social media consultation, and I can give you a call and I can talk about what kind of things might benefit you or your business the most. So take a look at that. That's at dennisjsmith.com under Contact Influence, and you can get a hold of me. We're going to move on to YouTube and talk about why YouTube. Again, this is not a social networking site per se, but this is a site that is owned by Google, and this is the largest website in the world that contains videos. Videos rank high in Google searches. You can create and you can upload product video or even short commercials using YouTube. It's a great way to promote your business. It doesn't really cost any money to do that except for producing the videos and the equipment needed to produce those videos. Those videos can be shared to Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, and other social media networking sites. Some of the tools needed to create videos, well, there's not that many tools needed to really do that. Any video camera or flip cam, or right next to me I have my cell phone, and most cell phones these days have the ability to record very decent quality video. And then all you need is some kind of editing software, and from Microsoft, Windows Live Movie Maker is typically found with any version of Windows from, I believe, Windows 7 and 8 have it in there. And you can find any other video editing software. If you go onto Google and you do a search for video editing software, you'll find that there's all kinds of different video editing software out there to make it easy for you to make high quality videos. I'm going to move on here to some tips on social media, and we're almost about ready here to wrap it up. But some of the tips that I have is try to post on a regular schedule, at least 1 to 3 times a day. Now that is based according on the type of business that you have. So not all businesses have to post 3 times a day, but if you post 1 to 3 times a day, that's usually where you're going to find the best engagement, and you want to make sure it's on a regular schedule. So by regular schedule means that if you're posting Monday through Friday and then you don't post on Saturday and Sunday, and then you post again Monday through Friday, that you want to keep that schedule. You don't want to post on Monday through Friday and then skip Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then post Tuesday, and then not post for the next 3 days. That tends to throw people off, and then they stop following your page. So you want to make sure that you're consistent when you're posting. You want to post during peak times. The best time to post is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with concentrations from 8 a.m. through 11 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and holidays are some of the best times that they have found. Excuse me, the best days that are the best days to post. Now you can take a look on your pages and look at your insights, and if you take a look at the posts that you've made in the past and you see which ones are getting the most engagement, you can see what times that you posted those posts, and then by using that information you can find out maybe what the best times for your specific page are. Because you have to remember, when I'm telling you 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we've got different time zones around the world and in the United States. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. typically kind of covers the entire United States, but around the world, in another part of the world, it's going to be the middle of the night, so that might not be a good time if your page focuses on something that has more of an interest in different parts of the world. You want to make sure that you post relevant information. Photos and videos are a great thing to post. Post as your fan page, and when I say this, Facebook gives you the ability to switch from your personal profile over to your fan page, and then you can go on to other fan pages and you can post as those fan pages. The next thing that I want to cover is that you should share, and encourage others to share. So what that means is that you want to make sure that your friends are sharing the information that you're posting. Always make sure that you respond to your customers. So if you see that a customer has posted or left a comment on your fan page, or on Pinterest or wherever, make sure that you're responding to your customers or taking care of some of those customer service issues that you might find with social media. Make sure that you're genuine and always be yourself. You want to make sure that when you're posting that you don't use caps or all caps, because that's considered shouting. And you want to make sure that you don't make spelling or grammar errors. I see a lot of this on Facebook, Google Plus, not as much because Google Plus gives you more ability to do some editing, but I see a lot of it on Facebook, and I always encourage people to use Chrome or Firefox because those browsers give you the ability to do spell checking. So you'll see the squiggly line, and then you can do a right click on it and it'll give you options to correct the spelling on there. And then have fun with it with social media. It shouldn't be a chore. It's part of marketing with any business. You want to take time to do the social media through either spending some time in the morning or the afternoon or evening to do your social media, but make it part of your routine and have fun with it. Some quick reminders here is that you want to keep the same look and feel across all platforms, and by that I mean that if you're on Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, Pinterest, just like anything with a business, is that you've got brochures and you've got business cards and you've got a website that has the same look or your logo on it. Make sure that your social media, you try to have that same kind of look and feel across all of the platforms. Keep your content fresh, so make sure that if you've got a blog, that you're not letting it go stale, and that you try to post on a consistent basis, or the information that you're sharing on your fan page kind of keep that current, that information current. And use social media management tools like Hootsuite or an RSS feed sparingly or not at all. Hootsuite is a social media management tool that allows you to plug in your tweets or your posts on Facebook in advance, and then schedule a time for those to post to your different social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. Facebook gives you the ability to do that now, where you can schedule a post on there, so you can give it the date and the time for it to post. and that's okay to do that on Facebook. But they tend to ding you as far as using other tools out there. An RSS feed just allows you to pull information. I do this sometime on some of my pages. I will look for good social media information and I will use an RSS feed to pull that information to my Facebook page and have it post to my Facebook page maybe a couple of times a day, or maybe, every few hours or something like that. And then in between, I will actually add my own posts to my page. Monitor your page for comments. Check your insights. Those are your fan page statistics on Facebook to see what type of engagement you're getting. Find out where people are coming from, what countries, what age they are, male to female ratio. You can certainly do that with Facebook Insights, so make sure that you're checking that and using that tool. Keep up on social media because it's always changing. So some of the stuff that I've talked about today with Facebook, we looked at the fan pages earlier. I know that a couple of new things, timelines are changing a little bit. The news feeds are getting a new look. And also cover photos. Some of the rules that they had for cover photos have changed, and they've taken away some of the restrictions that they had on that. So you want to make sure that you're always making sure that you're reading up on that. And I'll give you some websites here that are great websites to find that information, including mine. Here's some resources here. We're going to go through these. If you're interested in WordPress and website hosting, greenhostusa.com is a good place to go for that. ProBlogger.net, for those of you who are bloggers, is a good resource for that. Copyblogger.com has good online marketing advice. However, they've changed that up a little bit more because they've branched out on what they do. My friend Maury Smith at maurysmith.com is a social media Facebook expert who I follow. And my website is dennisjsmith.com. And I've got lots of social media news, advice, WordPress information, and information that I share on my website, as well as being able to contact me for my services and the other things that I do, like the talk show. Socialmediaexaminer.com has lots of great social media news. Mashable.com and /social-media. Google and Bing, of course, are search engines and a great way for you to find information out there. However, the thing that is most frustrating is with search engines, you might search on a topic and you might not get the most current information, so you might have to dig around and find what you're looking for. There's a link to the Nielsen.com report, social media report for 2011. So I put it there, even though that's a few years ago in terms of social media. Things have changed quite a bit since then. And then Facebook advertising is facebook.com/advertising. I believe I said earlier facebook.com/ads, which I believe will work, but also /advertising to get more information on Facebook ads. Here's some of the services that I personally offer, and you can find a lot of information right on dennisjsmith.com. But if you're looking for custom fan pages for local businesses or custom fan pages for those of you who are multi-level marketers, those are a couple of things that I do. When we talk about custom Facebook pages, that means that more than just the typical Facebook fan page. I also create squeeze pages, so those of you that are marketers out there or coaches, I can create a squeeze page for you if you're using WordPress, or I can create a squeeze page that you can put on your Facebook fan page. And then basically a squeeze page is just to funnel people on down to get them to give you information such as an email address and name, and they might sign up for some kind of program or a newsletter that you offer. I also offer tutoring on all of the major social media networking sites. So if you're somebody who is not feeling comfortable with Facebook, Twitter, Google+, you can get a hold of me and I can do tutoring if you're local, or I can do online tutoring via Google+. So that means that we can get on our notebook and all you have to do is have a Google+ account, and a web camera, and we can talk face to face. I've done this with several of my friends who I've taught them how to use WordPress, so that's a great way to learn online if you're somewhere where you're not near a school or have that ability. And then I do social media consulting, and I also set up WordPress websites and the ability to host those. If you're interested in having me speak for your group or organization, you can contact me and I can do a presentation and talk about social media or WordPress, any of those topics. blogtalkradio.com/social media talk on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time is my talk show, Social Media Talk with Dennis J. Smith. Would love for you to join me on Thursdays to see what's new. And I have a monthly newsletter that you can sign up. So if you want information sent to you monthly right to your inbox to learn what's new with social media, certainly sign up for my newsletter. There are times that I do giveaways, signed copies of my book, or hopefully I'll be writing a new book here soon, so make sure that you check that out. And if you want to contact me, DennisJSmith.com, of course, is the website, but you can email me at djsmith@ignitehost.net. There's my fan pages on Facebook. Would love it if you went over there and you liked the pages and followed me on Facebook. You can click, after you click like, if you click on get notifications, each time I post something new, you'll be the first to be notified of that. Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. LinkedIn, Pinterest, again, my blog, DennisJSmith.com. YouTube. And if you want to get a hold of me on the phone there's my number right there. However, you'll have to leave a voicemail and just let me know what your call is regarding, and I will be more than happy to return that call within 24 to 48 business hours. So that's a little bit about social media for Main Street USA. I just think it's important that if you're a business out there, a small business especially, and I grew up here in Southwest Idaho. We have a lot of small towns, so we've got small businesses that are competing with big boxes like Target and Walmart. It makes it difficult for some of those businesses, but I believe that if you've got great customer service and you've got your connections to social media and you've got those special relationships built with your customers or your clients, that it's still possible for those small businesses, those small mom and pop stores to do business. I've got several friends who own businesses here in the town that I live in, which is about 45,000. And one of them has a coffee shop, the other one does custom cakes and cupcakes, and both of them, when I talk to them, it seems like business is going well for them. And you've got the Starbucks and things like that, but with social media, I believe that you can still make a decent living. So make sure that you're on social media, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. That's the end of the presentation for today. DennisJSmith.com. I'm Dennis J. Smith. Thank you very much for listening today.